Hey Neppers, it's me, Wild Neptune. Today, gonna go over the brand new Gear Reset system. Before that though, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Catch me at Twitch, twitch.tv/Wild Neptune. Thank you, and let's get going. If you don't know how to get to your Gear Reset, it's simply in Sanctuary, then go to your Steel Workshop, and there it is. If you don't see it, or if you can't get to it, it might be level locked. I'm not sure about that. I know that Reforging is level locked also, so it might be the same with Equipment Reset. And if it is, don't worry, because Equipment Reset is something that is heavily tuned towards late game players. If you're a new player, do not use your equipment resets yet, because a lot of decent gear, even like gear that's kind of subpar, is still going to be good for you just to get started. And this is definitely something for when you have a lot of pieces and you want to improve those pieces that had a lot of potential that didn't quite live up to that. And it gives it a second chance at life. Now, what can you reset? Well, 85 gear and 90 gear, that's at least +3 that is or was reforged. So no Abyss gear, no 88s, no stuff like that. Also, the game starts out with this recommended thing, and I don't actually know what kind of criteria it uses. However, like a lot of things, I would not trust the in-game sorting. You're gonna want to sift through these by yourself, and I'm gonna give you some guidelines that I use to get the most bang for my buck. I use Fribbles Optimizer for my gear sorting and hero builds. It's a free program that every Series Epic 7 player should be using to sort through their builds, their heroes, their gear, and all of that. A great resource. So, the first step I have in choosing what items I potentially want to reset is going to my gear, and then also finding all the gear with a score right here, maybe a little bit different on where you are, that is between 69 and about 65. And why these numbers? Well, it's because 70 plus is usually considered to be good gear score, where this is gear that you will not readily replace too easily for the most part. And even if you do, you're always happy to put it on other units. And anything lower than 65, this is where gear usually stops having enough potential in order to be reset anyway for higher numbers. Of course, there are going to be some exceptions, some outliers to both of these, but this is just a general range that I suggest that you look at. And this is why gear reset is a thing that is geared towards later game players, because when you're like an early game, even mid game player, you're going to be using a lot of gear that's between these ranges, right? And you're going to have to be using this gear between these ranges just to fill out your roster. You see, for me, I have a lot of this stuff on, nobody, or on heroes that I use for like PvE, or just kind of test builds and things, and I'm not really worried about these items being reset or not. Real quick too, if you're wondering the difference between equipment score, which is the metric they use in-game, and gear score, the metric they use in Fribbles, just add 26 from your gear score to get your equipment score for I-90 gear, and 25 for 85 gear. This is not exact, but close enough where it's acceptable. Or, of course, subtract 26 or 25 from the game to get your gear score. Now, the other reason why I use Fribbles is it's a lot easier to look through your gear. Now, just because Fribbles is a great resource doesn't mean you're not going to go back to the game too and check out some of the other details. So, here in Fribbles, just go click down here, and I can see all my stats and how they look and everything like that. And I can see if anything on this list looks like it might be something I might want to check out. So there is a piece I know I want to reset, and this is this I-90 speed set crit chance neck, and it is, let me find which one it is, this one right here. So it's right in the range between 65 to 69. It is a red piece. It's not modded, which is a big key because a lot of my gear is modded. And I'll look at these stats here. So I can go here, then go back to the game. Go to my next. It is right here. And now I can look at the stats that it would reset to. And this is where we get to the next thing I look for in whether or not I think it's good to reforge or not. The first one is it equipped to anybody important on my roster? Let's say, for the sake of argument, that I was looking at resetting this piece right here. You know, maybe this is a decent piece to reset. However, it is on my Senya, which is a unit I use quite a bit. I have to make sure before I reset this piece that if this piece goes poorly, I can replace it with another piece of gear. This is pretty important. It's not as important on this piece right here, as no matter how this really rolls, it's probably okay to pick against Senya anyway. But for pieces that have, say, crit chance or crit damage, or maybe you want to reach an ER metric or an attack metric, something like that, a gear point, then those are important things to consider, that you have backups and contingencies just in case your dream scenario doesn't happen. And believe me, I've been playing the game for long enough to know that this dream scenario is not always going to be something that's in your fortune. But back to the gear. After I make sure it's a piece that I want to reset, is within the gear range, it has the potential, is not equipped to anybody, or I know if it is, I have a replacement. What I do now is I look at to see what the reset looks like, and this is something that you have to go into the game to look at. So right here, if I reset this piece, it would go to 7% defense, 8 health, 5 crit damage, and 4 speed. Remember that resets also reset it back to eye level 85, so you also have to reuse any of your reforged mats, so make sure you have those on you too if you want to get it back to 90 right away. The next thing I do is I also make sure that the subs look okay, where there's one or no subs that have low base starts. Right here, the crit damage is on the lower side, not base, but 5% is kind of low, but everything else is a very high roll. In fact, 2 of them were pretty much max, and I'm very happy about that. Let's look at another piece here, and this one right here, it has a it has a min crit chance, and it has a low crit damage. Is this a piece that I probably want to reset? Never mind that it is a resist piece with DPS stats, but let's say it wasn't. Probably not, because there is too much inherent risk in picking a piece that has 2 low base stats with this. There is too much potential for it to go poorly compared to a piece that only has 1. Why is this? Well, you basically need 2 max rolls into these 2 substats for it to be average. And that is asking quite a bit. Of course, you can get lucky, and let's say you just roll through 3 of them and you ignore 1 of the other ones, and then you know what? You can mod it. And you basically have a free max substat. Now, is this going to happen? Likely? No, it will not, which is why I would avoid gear that has 2 low rolled subs. The other 2 is, this is more just for speed set, but try to have a speed sub on your speed gear when you're doing this. I know not all your speed gear needs speed subs, but for this purpose, because one of the bonuses of resetting this and rolling it again is that maybe you'll roll more speed, it's just a nice thing to consider. Also, again, I would not get gear that's starting at 2 base speed. At least 3 is the way to go, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, remember those things there. Make sure that you have a replacement, that the gear has enough potential, that it has the 4 good subs, that no more than one of them has a low base. If it's speed set, have a speed sub on it. And to close this video, just a short clip from my stream of my first experience actually using the system. Enjoy. Alright, yes, we have just used our free re-app in order to reset this piece of junk to this piece of potential junk. Let's go in and see how lucky we can get. Let's just feed this all in. You know, go all out right now. Okay. Are we ready? Please. Be good. Let's go! Wait a minute. Holy fuck, that's cracked! Okay, guys, so my review on this new gear-like reset thing is that it is a very good addition to the game. Thanks for watching.